up, guys? On a special episode of AP Productions, we have the branch manager, Monika, and the lender, Jessica, from how do you say it?
Movi Mortgage Solutions.
Yeah, you guys should say it. So a round of applause. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well. Yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm very happy you guys came. This is very exciting for me.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
It's an absolute pleasure. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is the fact that you two are women in a male-dominated field. While doing a little bit of research, I just found out women were officially allowed to take mortgages out on their own name without a male cosigner in the U.S. in 1974.
Wow.
I did not know that. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I have another very interesting fact for you as well. Some people might not know this, some people might know this, but there's actually more single women that own houses than men.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we've come a long way, right?
It seems like as soon as we gave you guys the law, you guys took
we
over,
with it, right? Like we normally do with things.
Exactly.
We just take things too far, don't we?
And then all of a sudden you have a branch manager, only, 50 years after allowing women to...
Definitely. I mean, yes, it's definitely a male-dominated, industry. But I will say that, from when I first started, almost 20 years ago, we've come a long way, for sure. I mean, it's not like when I first started, used to go into a bank and there's probably one out of maybe every 20 people there was a female. Now the ratios are much, much more higher, So yeah, I mean, and we're rocking and rolling, there's a lot of top loan officers, especially Latinas. Mm-hmm. I mean, we are definitely, we're doing really well in the industry. I know Jessica over here is rocking and rolling, another Latina herself.
Yes, the whole team is, which is great. Girl power.
Funny enough, most of the lenders I've worked with have all been women.
There you go.
They've been on top of things, very detail oriented. It's brought me great results.
Well, you know what they say, if you want something done, you have to give it to a woman.
I guess so.
If you want something done right.
Yeah, that might be a
except
better way to put it.
Except for you. You're excluded from that whole thing.
Yeah, I guess. But I wanted to ask you, what was your journey like becoming a mortgage, and now you're the branch manager of Movi Mortgage Solutions. So what was that like? How did you end up from point A to point B?
Yeah, that's a great question. So like I said, I've been doing this almost 20 years, and I love what I do. I mean, it's very gratifying getting, a family into their home, and which is, it's great to do that, but I also love working with loan officers and watching them grow. I've had a team before, but I saw a lot of people that I worked with before when I went, 20 years ago, where I started the business, and a lot of them being men, some of them being women, and I saw them go off to be branch managers themselves. And it's funny because her and I had a conversation about a year ago, and I said, you know what, I think I might want to go, move on and open a branch. I think it's time, it's just about that time. And I want to help other loan officers, make money and grow and have the same journey that I did. So, and I've had management positions before, not in the mortgage industry, and I was really good at it. And I've been told from other people that I just am a great manager, so why don't I just go ahead and manage a team? And of course, you can make more money doing it as well. But really, the main reason why is just helping other people make more money.
Yeah, I definitely get that type of leadership energy from you. I could almost see the way you operate without being there, just from hearing you speak.
Thank you.
So funny enough, I had actually interviewed with a bank, and the branch manager that interviewed me had told me that he started off as a teller. Oh. So just from hearing that just blew my mind, and I said, wow, there's really lots of room for growth in the banking industry.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started, I had someone by the name of Dean Hartman who took me under his wing and helped me grow. And literally, where there was a point where I couldn't even pay my rent at one point. I was very young, and he just, the way he took me under his wing, the way he cared about me was what I wanted to do with other people, and especially young people just coming out of college. Maybe they don't know what they want to do, kind of like where I was in that position, or people who might just be in the industry for a while, kind of struggling and not really knowing what to do in the industry to be successful. Those are the people that I want to coach.
Wow. I think it takes a special kind of person to not only be a leader, but to want to guide the people under them to let them flourish on their own as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jessica, you've had a pretty unique situation and story yourself. You weren't always a lender. You started off on the back end. Can you speak to your journey?
Yes, absolutely. So I actually started as a loan officer assistant about 6 years ago. Actually, Monika's loan officer assistant.
Oh, wow.
I was working with her. She's basically, guided me and taught me everything I knew. Brand new to the industry. She taught me everything I knew and showed me just what a good loan officer is. I've worked with a few loan officers and she by far exceeds not only my expectations, but I'm getting teary, but also the client's expectations, which is super important. And they definitely value her. And I just aspire to be just like her. I see myself as a little mini Monika. So I was doing the loan officer assistant role with her for about 2 years, and then I wanted obviously to do more, and I transitioned into doing more non-QM loans, processing, pipeline management, and basically I did that for about a little over 2 years, and then just last year Monika and I had lunch and we talked about our goals and our plans and what we wanted to do. She, was going to be there and support me to get my loan officer license. And, she talked to me about how she wanted to be a branch manager, and we decided to partner. And here we are today.
So one of the things we had talked about off camera was the fact that you guys have a very big sister, little sister kind of relationship. Funny enough, I have my own big brother, metaphorically, where it's somebody that I look up to immensely and pretty much gives me a bit of a roadmap on what to do and how to do it, especially if I want to be where that person is. Can you two discuss your relationship and the benefits of having a mentor and mentee?
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of like what she said, she started off as my loan officer assistant. And when she started as a loan officer assistant, little did she know, I knew one day she'd be a loan officer. That was my whole plan to begin with. Because I knew she had it in her. First of all, she's extremely smart. And she knew what she was doing, and she asked a lot of questions, things that she didn't even need to know. It was on the loan officer side, and I would be like, Jessica, why do you want to know that, And she's like, I just want to know, just how did you get this and how did you get that? And she was just way above her job description. And and I would ask her to do A, B, C, and she would just go all the way to Z, F, all the way to Z. And she would start figuring out ways to make it work, a deal, before not even way before I could way over I could even see it, and I was like, wow, you're right. And when she started learning the business, she's like, well, what if we did this and what if we did that? And then she started getting into the credit and well, what if we fix this? And she's just very smart, and you could tell she helps people. And then the clients would just love her, and she knew how to develop the relationship. And so I said, you know what, it's time to make a protege. That's it. It's time, Obviously one day, not anytime soon, but one day I'm gonna want to retire, obviously, and I need somebody who's gonna be a good example of who I am, that I can leave my business to and kind of say, you know what, I know that my clients are gonna be well taken care of. My relationships will know her and love her as much as they love me, and she was just the perfect person for it. And not to mention, we just have a great relationship. We talk every day, about personal things, business things. There's been laughs, there's been cries, there's been fights. We've been through sisterly fights also, a ton of things. I'm like, Jessica, what are you doing, Jessica? And she respects me enough to respect what I say, which means a lot in this relationship. And that's why we've been now, 6 years. There was a separation where she had to go and kind of grow her wings a little bit and learn more, a different part of the business. But she came back to Mama, or Big Sister, whatever you want to call it. And I'm glad she did. And I'm so glad she got her license, because she's amazing. Just like I knew she would.
Absolutely. I've heard great things myself. I actually met Jessica doing an open house. And with the pamphlet she brought, the information she brought with her, I was looking and I was like, whoa, this is so detailed. I haven't seen this before from any lender. Yeah.
No, definitely. We definitely try to, it's a big purchase. It's a big transaction. A lot of first-time home buyers, they've never done this before. They need a lot of hand-holding throughout the process. And a lot of loan officers aren't, that involved, and that is just what we do. We definitely handhold and walk them through step by step to inform them of all the different options and what the best, we suggest, certain things, and we want to definitely, save them money and also put them in a situation where they can afford the payment. So we just want to make sure everybody's comfortable and happy throughout the entire transaction.
No, that's wonderful. So Jessica, would you be able to speak to the influence Monika has had on you, and with her being your older sister?
I mean, she has like a major influence in my day-to-day and everything. I'm always thinking, what would Monika do in this situation, or how would she approach it? I definitely, try to shadow her and, how she handles her business. I only hope to have the same, business myself and the same, return clientele that she has. She has a lot of repeat, clients that come back to her all the time, refer family members that, are preferred agents of hers that refer their family members and trust her completely. So that's my favorite thing about our relationship, is the trust that we have with each other. I'm only one person, I can only do so much, and I just know she's always there to catch me if I fall, or if I need anything, if I get pulled in another direction, she's there to back me up.
Oh, when the time is right, it seems like you're the one she's passing the torch to.
Absolutely, and I'm just so grateful that she trusts me to, continue her business.
No, continue the legacy.
Absolutely, and hopefully, I have little ones to just pass along the business too as well. So.
Little ones scare me. I see little kids, I get anxiety. All I see are handcuffs. So I wanted to ask you two personally, what makes a realtor good to work with? What do you look for in a realtor?
Do you want to answer it first?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I always tell my clients, because sometimes we get this question from our clients, do you think that I should work with an agent, or should I just go by myself, or do you think I should sign this buyer broker? And I say absolutely. It's so important to have an agent, because first of all, and sign the buyer broker, because first of all, they're working for you, not the seller, once you sign that buyer broker. And it's important for them to represent you, because they're going to negotiate on your behalf. They're going to make sure you're getting the best. They can tell you what's going on with the house. They can make sure that you're getting the best house for your buck. They're just working for you, and I don't think the clients don't understand that the agent, the listing agent, is not working for them unless they're working for the seller. And so is your agent, unless you do a buyer broker, right? So a lot of them don't understand that. I tell them, don't go blindly, don't go by yourself, have a representation, have a professional. You came to me, right? I'm a professional, but I only do the financing. You need a professional to help you when you're out there looking for a house.
Right.
And I'm not a realtor.
Yes.
I wouldn't
and
pretend to be a realtor.
There with you to look at the house, because
Exactly.
we don't see the house until we get the appraisal and get the photos. So it's super important to make sure that you have a realtor that knows what they're doing, knows what to look for when it's an FHA loan, knows that certain things have to be done, making sure that there's no chipped paint. There's handrails when there needs to be handrails, smoke detectors, CO detectors are installed just for, their protection.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're there, as basically their first, hand holding them, throughout the process. And then, once you guys have the offer accepted, we kind of take it from there and, hold their hand, throughout the whole mortgage loan process and getting them to the closing table.
Yeah.
And definitely, I would give the same advice to a client as to why they should work with a lender as well, to go through with trusted, reputable people. I'm about to hand you some flowers yourself, but Jessica has a reputation for her speed, doesn't she? She always gets things done, and she gets things done way ahead of the time that she needs to get it done by. Isn't that right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love deadlines. I love exceeding expectations and meeting those deadlines and making sure that, we get them into their home as soon as possible,
Yeah, that really comes from being a person who cares about the client as opposed to just caring about the paycheck. Because in this industry, there's a little bit of both. There are people who really care about their clients, and there are people who just are here to get paid. So working with somebody who won't just treat you as a number, I believe, is very imperative. whether that's a realtor, or whether that's a banker, whatever the situation may be.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And I think it's also surrounding yourself with the right team. You know, like as an agent, I'm sure you have like the team. You have a lender, you know, you have
Absolutely.
an attorney, you have a title, you have an inspection person, you know, we have an appraiser. So just insurance person. So just having the right team around you will make sure that you're going to meet your deadlines. They're going to get the job done right. People that you trust, you've been working with for a while, that you know because you've had enough transactions with them to know that they're going to get the job done correctly and done quickly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What's your big why?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I have two whys. I mean, mainly it's, you know, so I think there's two whys for me, right? Mainly, of course, there's my family. Mother of, you know, two little boys. And that's my main reason, you know, my main why. I do it because this is obviously how I am able to provide a lifestyle for them. It's not a lifestyle that I had growing up. And another reason we love getting our clients into homes. That is really, truthfully, the best thing that you can do. When I grew up, my parents did not own a house until I was a senior in high school. So we rented my whole life. My parents could not afford to buy a house. You know, we moved to New York from Puerto Rico. I lived with my grandparents, and then we came here. Then my mom and my stepdad came from Florida. And when we moved to New York, they went to the places like that you might have heard of. We went to Mastic, Wyandanch, Brentwood. We're out there, places that they could afford rent, right? So that's where I grew up. And so I remember my mom having some major landlord issues. I didn't understand why somebody was coming to our house asking for money, you know, things were broken, like, you know, just hearing her just really upset, sometimes even crying at night, you know, couldn't pay the rent and then saying we have to move. You would just hear conversations as a child. And that really stuck with me. And I'm like, you know what, when I get older, I'm going to own a house. I don't know what that means or how to do it, but I'm going to own a house. And then when they finally bought their house when we were a senior in high school and they were able to, it was a different feeling. To have your own big backyard and nobody's coming to your house and nobody can tell you or you feel nobody can take the house away. Of course, we know there's a bank that's involved, but for the most part, you have control. You could paint it the way you want. You could have dogs and pets, and you could do whatever you want, and anybody can come over, and you could have parties in your backyard, and you can roast pigs. That's what we do as Puerto Ricans. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to have somebody living downstairs if they decide they want to rent the downstairs, which is what we had growing up too. And we moved to so many places. I lived in so many different states, so many different houses. My parents moved so many times. I went to different school districts, you know, lost so many friends throughout the way. It's hard for a kid. So when somebody comes to me and says, you know, I want my family to live in one place, you know, I want my kids to go to this school district, it really resonates with me, you know, because I know what that feels like as a child. And I know how happy my parents were when they finally bought their first house. And then when I finally bought my first house, you know, and a few houses later that I own, it's just very gratifying. So to help to somebody else to do that is absolutely amazing. And my kids are young, but they already know what it is that mommy, you know, and daddy own their house, and they know what a bank is, they know what a mortgage is, they know what it all is. Especially my oldest, he's so smart, he asks the right questions, and yeah, it's important. It's important to have the family, if you can, grow into a house that they own. It's different. It's different when you raise them that way, for sure.
Absolutely. What's your big why, Jess?
I mean, I personally just love helping people. I mean, you know, I think nothing is more satisfying than, you know, helping somebody that is virtually in tears, like in a bad situation, about to lose their home, you know, and just coming in and giving them that solution, like helping them, you know, refinance and pay off those taxes. A lot of people don't know that, you know, that it's very easy to refinance, and you can do it as an FHA, conventional. There's always, you know, different options like HELOCs, HELoans that you could do to get yourself out of different, you know, tough situations. And, you know, nothing is more satisfying to me than, you know, making people, you know, so happy that they don't have to lose their home or be homeless, or helping people, you know, first-time home buyers, like, you know, realizing the dream. You know, we work with a lot of clients that sometimes they're not citizens, or, because we have offered different programs like the non-QM loan, where it's not the traditional mortgage. So they always thought that they couldn't own a home. So finding that perfect solution is just my favorite thing to do, making the situation work. I don't like taking no for an answer, and I always...
Dog with a bone over here, we call her.
Yes, I always think that there's like a way to make it work. So I will do whatever I can to make it work and make the deal.
Yeah, and that's a good reason why people should choose you as their lender.
Absolutely. Choose us as your lender because we will be there for them throughout the entire process and hold their hand and guide them through it.
What advice would you give to somebody who's looking to climb up the corporate ladder?
So what I would say is, when I first started doing mortgages, about 5 years into it, I was struggling a little bit, and it's just like basically the market just took a shift. So I decided to take some coaching, and it was like a life/business coach. So I would definitely recommend, if you can do the coaching. It can get costly, but if you can afford to do the coaching, it's worth it. And one of the things that the coach said to me was, make sure that you separate your personal life with your work life. And that might sound like cliche, or it might sound like, that's not the best advice. I'm telling you, it was the best advice I could have had, because it also taught me about time management and time blocking. Basically the way she explained it was, when you are, home with your family, or whether it's your church or whatever you believe in, be the best you can be. So if you're home with your family, be the best wife, be the best mom, be whatever you are. If you live by yourself, be the best you are in your self-love, whatever it may be. Spend time for yourself. But then when you're working, be the best loan officer, realtor, whatever it is that you're working. From that time to that time, you're just working. Don't let any personal life distract you. Don't let anything distract you. That's what you concentrate on. With that being said, then I started becoming a great time blocker. And it's something that, I shouldn't say great, because something I could still struggle with sometimes. We all know that, especially in this business. Yeah. I'm a work in progress. I'm not perfect, but I've learned to time block my work. I've learned to time block, my calls, my emails. I joke around, because sometimes agents or clients say, I called you a couple times, couldn't get a hold of you. I'm like, well, time blocking my calls, but I will call back everybody, within a certain amount of time. It's usually every 2 hours, every hour I'll check emails, phone calls, because I respect the fact of communication. But if you allow yourself to pick up every call, do every email, do this, by the end of the day, you're not productive.
You stretch yourself
you won't get anything done. And if you really want to succeed and you want to climb up the corporate ladder and you want to do something, being corporate and being a manager, you have so many more responsibilities. So you have to get that time management down, because you won't succeed. You'll drive yourself crazy to manage a team, and then to be productive and in your personal life, and then also to produce your own business is impossible if you can't, manage your time. So that would be like the best advice that I can give somebody.
No, that's great advice. And I wanted to ask you something. When you were talking about owning a home, you said you own multiple homes.
I do.
So you have investment properties?
I do, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I do. I think if you can, I think everybody should try to invest in real estate. I think it's first of all, it's a known thing, as you know, that real estate does not go down. If anything, every 10 years, for the most part, it probably doubles.
Absolutely.
Doubles. So it's always going to be a cash flow thing for you. It's always going to be like, we're like you. We don't get pensions, right? We don't get, yes, with Social Security, as we know, we're not going to be able to live on when we retire. So this is like my retirement plan. So I know when I sell it, I'm going to have a lot of money. I'm going to have a lot of equity. The rent pays for itself. And that money is going to be like my, tons of 401k that I have everywhere that I can invest and let the interest grow. So
where do you own property? Is it all in New York? Is it over the U.S.?
Nope. I have New York and Florida.
Nice.
And my next one will be Pennsylvania, for sure.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, the whole reason I became a realtor in the first place is because I always knew eventually I would want to invest in real estate. Mm-hmm. So I figured if I come in as the middleman, I make as much money as possible, I learn as much about the game as I can. By the time the capital is there, I'll know what move to make, how to make it, and just seize any opportunity that comes my way.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Smart. He's smart.
Yeah. It's,
And you need to finance, you call us.
No, absolutely.
They got great investment loans.
yeah. Do you actually want to speak on some of the investment products you have?
Yeah, I mean, we have, and I'll let Jessica speak too, but I'll just say we have investment loans for first-time investors, and we have investment loans for experienced investors. Do you want to talk about some of those? I mean, like, we have the DSCR loans.
Yes. I mean, we have tons of programs that we do. We have not only the regular, traditional mortgage, like the FHA conventional, like VA loans, but we also have like the non-QM loans, which is basically either the DSCR loans that we have, where you would use the rent of the property to cover the mortgage, and it's very we don't need tax returns, we don't need W-2s. It's only the value of the rent of the property that has to cover the mortgage. So that's
And you can put as little as 15% down.
yes.
A lot of people don't know that. A lot of companies have that program. They'll say, oh, we have that program, but they usually require 20 to 25% down. And especially for a first-time investor,
It's hard.
it's hard. So 15% down is a lot more feasible for people. So.
Absolutely, yeah. And a lot of people think they need landlord experience, and they don't always need
Mhm.
that. So we have very different programs that we do. We can also offer, we do like construction loans too, and then the HELOCs and the HE loans. So we do it all.
And when it comes to your products, are they based specifically for New York, or could we go to you for a product and invest somewhere else in the U.S.?
That's a great question. So our company is licensed in every state,
Oh, wow.
except for Hawaii.
Yeah.
So
right.
Hawaii, we
Yes.
cannot help you. But every other state, yes, we can help you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect just to leave off over here. We got a lot done in like a short amount of time, and
Yeah.
that works.
Thanks for having
Yes,
us. This is
thank
awesome.
you.
This is fun.
Absolutely. No, this is a
Yeah.
blast.
We have to do it again.
I was like the flow. It was nice and easy. And those questions were great. It's perfect.